Hi, Melissa. I saw your forum post, and it's pretty sad, so I thought I'd try and help you out if I can. Um, I did most of this with that what is it called? Mesh warp? So, yeah, envelope warp. Sorry. Um, and it took me ages to figure out because I was getting crazy errors as well, and I bet we're getting the same error. So, I'm gonna see if I can replicate the error that you're probably getting. And let's try this one. And then, oh yeah, here we go. And we'll see if we're getting the same error. I'm gonna turn my outer strokes on all these shapes back on so I can see them. Okay, so say I wanted to put a word here on the top of her neck. I'm gonna zoom in on it. So there's the shape, and when I click on it over here in my layers panel, it actually puts a little blue dot next to that particular shape. So I'm gonna cut it, but it might be wise to copy it. But anyway, for this example, I'm just gonna cut it with Control X, and it's gone. And now I'm gonna make a new layer 13. I'm gonna call it neck top. And then I'm just gonna paste it, and it drops it. Doesn't put it right back where it belongs, but you can sort that out. What? Why are you dinging at me? Huh. Wonder why it's dinging. It's not locked. What? Okay, I guess I'm using I'm using the arrow keys right now, because for some reason when I try to drag it, it dings. Don't know why that is. Anyway, yours probably won't do that, because mine never has. Anyways, now I have that, the path for that bit of the neck, in its own little layer stack here. And I'm gonna make a new little layer inside that layer stack with this create new sublayer option down here at the bottom right. And click that. Now I have two layers in there. And I'm gonna type a word using the type tool. Sassafras. It's probably not how you spell sassafras, but who cares? So now I have these two objects, both in the same little layer group, which is very important for envelope warp, evidently. I didn't know that. Anywho, click on the shape you want to, hey buddy, sorry, that was my cat. Click on the shape you want to warp the text into, right click on that shape, and go down to Arrange, and select Bring to Front. And that will make that shape let's just say closest to the camera of all the other shapes in this little composition here. Bring to front. Now it's at the front. So the shape is in front of the word, and that should be fine. And you click the shape, hold down Shift, click the word. Now they're both selected. See if I can remember how to do this. Go to Envelope Distort, make with top object, and it's in there, but you can't see it because the text is black. So if you double click on it, you can then edit the text that was warped into that shape, which I just did. And now if you notice up here at the left, near the top of the screen, it says envelope and then containing layer, which I called neck top, and then it has an arrow back one level. This is just because we're editing inside of that envelope, which is inside of that neck top object layer thing. If I click on neck top, it takes me back that far, and if I click the little arrow, it'll take me all the way back out. And now I'm back out at the main thing of layers. It's very confusing, I know, but you can get used to it. Also, you might notice that this looks very, very, very bad. That's because uh, Illustrator is figuring things out based on the way you have the picture oriented and the size of the shape. So I'm going to undo all this, and I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to, whoops, well, where did it go? There it is. I'm going to grab my sassafras word. Well, first I'm going to deselect. I'm going to grab my sassafras word and pull it. What is... Okay, for some reason, my computer has decided that clicking and dragging with the mouse isn't a thing we do anymore. Yours probably won't do that. So I'm gonna use the arrow keys instead and scooch it out, just out of the way. And then I'm going to zoom out some more. I'm gonna grab all of this. So now everything in all my layers that isn't locked, that aren't locked, is selected. And I'm gonna rotate the whole shebang until this particular shape has like a big base. And then deselect everything and reselect that shape. Shift select sassafras. I'm sure that's misspelled. Go to Object, Envelope Distort, Make with Top Object. Still black text, so you still can't read it. At which point we double click on it, gets us down inside the envelope just like before, and zoom in. Meep, meep, meep. Hey, Squeaky Man. That was my cat again. Select the type and make it a different color, in this case white. And then I can just click this arrow to go back a level and then exit isolation mode, just like we did before. I'm going to double click on the zoom tool to zoom out. And I'm going to zoom out some more. And I'm going to select the whole thing and rotate it back the way I want it. So now her neck says sassafras on it. If you don't like how small it is or whatever, or if you're getting weird things going on with your particular project, because I had to do this, I cut all these shapes way too big and not suitable for text. Not all of them, just most of them. You can get around that by finding your little sawing looking tool, which is somewhere in here. Is it under the eraser? Yeah. You can either click down and hold on the eraser and find the knife, the knife, and if it's not in there, you can click this little ellipses here at the bottom left, and it should be in that list somewhere. Adobe likes to hide things. It's one of their fun games they like to play on their customers. Anywho, like that neck chunk was too big. Like, I've lost all kinds of space in there where I could have put interesting words or whatever. So if I wanted to make one smaller, I could just make sure I have my saw tool available and click on a shape. And that lets Illustrator know this is the shape I want to mess with. Click on the saw, click outside, hold down, draggy, 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 draggy. And Illustrator's working with me. It's trying to figure out what I'm doing. So as I slowly arc up in this way, it's like, oh, you want to make a curve? Cool. And then I let go. And hopefully, as I go back to the selection tool and deselect, each of these is now its own new, what does Illustrator call them? Path, I guess? I just call them shapes, but that's probably not right. I'm sure it's got a science word. But now I have these swoopy paths. And even that might not work very well for that envelope warp thing. At which point, another option is the Type on Path tool. This little guy. If you click on the T for Type tool and hold down, you can go over to Type on Path. Let go, and it gives you the kind of a T that's hanging out on a squiggly line. And then you can just click on a path, like this one. And now it goes whoosh all the way around, just down and up and over. Which, might not be ideal, but you can always make a new path and type on that. See how it looks super crazy and not good. That's because the software doesn't know what path I want to be the inside versus the outside. So a way of getting around that is just making a new layer and making your own path. Walk your own road. So I'm on my new layer that I made. I clicked on it, and now I'm gonna click here, and see the little orange dot that appeared over there on the right next to the new layer I made? That lets me know I'm working on the right layer. Sometimes it's wise to just lock the layers beneath so you don't accidentally end up on them. But if I click and just make little dots with my pen tool here, and you'll notice mine is curving nicely. And see, I just clicked on the edge there and it says, oh, you want to work on the layer below that? No, I don't. So I'm locking it. I'm locking layer 11, going back to layer 15. You can pick up your path anywhere just by clicking on it, and it'll say, oh, okay, let's just go back to the end. And then I'll drop my last little point. I'm going to hit V. That's a shortcut for the selection tool up here. I learned that today. I'm going to turn off the fill. Now I just have this cool little black line here as a guide for my type on path tool over here on the left. Click on that. I'm going to click on the path. And now it put the words in. They're right side up and they're not doing crazy things. So it looks a lot better. So that's another way. That's a way around the problem of the text warp. I'm sorry, what is it called? Envelope distort. Yeah, that thing. So yeah, there's more than one way to skin this particular kitty cat. Just a few things to be aware of. If you do try this, if you are doing I'm gonna unlock this group of layers again. I'm gonna use my little knife, and I'm gonna, first I need to select what I'm trying to cut. So there we go. I've selected this neck loop down here. I'm gonna grab my little knife, and I'm gonna click outside and hold down and drag around. If I don't get all the way outside and let off, that will not actually divide that shape up. It's now just what do you call it? A path, another path inside of the bigger path that doesn't quite get anywhere. I made this mistake a lot too because I didn't know what I was doing. So if you just grab your knife and drag in, you can kind of sort of fix it. And that made another irrelevant little point here. So if you go to direct selection tool and grab that little guy, you can hopefully just hit the delete key and screw the whole thing up. Yeah. Anywho, let's grab our knife, get back in there. Let's just make it just a horrible mess of it. Yeah. Get in here. So obviously, it's easy to miss. It's easy to screw this up, especially if you're not good at it like me. But yeah. Just undo. See, I accidentally made a loop-the-loop kind of situation here. I think. I'm not exactly sure what I did. What are you? What are you? Oh, see, yeah. Yeah, look at this. It's this guy. That's one of the adjustment handles. Don't worry about him. Basically, try and make sure you don't do it wrong the first time, or you'll have a lot of fun problems to deal with. Oh, I didn't even link them up. That's my problem. Never mind. Let's go here and go here. There. Now I did it right. Okay, so that whole mess was caused by this not connecting. I went too far and it says, oh, okay, we're just going over here now. So if you do fail to go all the way to the edge like I did a million times, and you want to finish cutting that shape up using the saw, just make sure you connect it to the last, I think it's called an anchor, in that little path thingy. And then you will have two laboriously created distinct shapes. So obviously it's not super easy, but with a great deal of practice, I think you can get there and be able to turn something in and feel less discouraged. uh, holler again if this didn't make enough sense, and I hope you can get somewhere with it. Goodbye.